All right, people, this is Mr. Wright here with lesson 40 for trombone. There's actually 44 lessons in the book because there's like a 19.1, 19.2, and other little lessons like that stuck in between the main lessons. But this is the last lesson in the right band method. Later on, I'm going to do in about a week or so, I'm going to do a review of a book that I've ordered, Introductory Studies to Tenor and Alto Clef for Trombone by Brad Edwards. One of the subtitles is Before Blazevich, and this is a book written by Blazevich. It's a study on alto clef, tenor clef, but this is like diving into the deep end of the pool. I used this in college with Mr. Broussard, George Broussard, who was my teacher there, and but it's kind of a tough book. I'm very interested to see what Brad Edwards does. He writes good stuff. If you're interested in getting into the different clefs, because if you ever play with like an orchestra and they're doing older works, usually the first trombone part might be written in alto clef, the second trombone part in tenor clef, and the bass trombone part will be written in bass clef. And of course, sometimes they use a real alto trombone to play that alto part, but sometimes they just use a trombone if you can't afford to buy one. But I'll let you know about that. But about this lesson, lesson 40 for trombone, this is about the simplistic key of D flat. And it's simple because to play a D flat scale, you go 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 3, 2. Example. Now that second position, it goes 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 3, 2, and it's second position, but it's a flattened second position. There's really, as far as I've found, 3 different second positions. You've got the E natural to right below F, second position's right about there. I'm showing about 1.5 inches of the inner slide right there. And then if you do like a high G, well, I'm only showing about a 1/2 inch about a 1/2 inch of the slide. So that's a very sharp second position. And then when you do a D flat, the upper D flat, it's more close to third position, so that's a totally different second position. So there's 3 different second positions, and when we play the upper D flat here, it's going to be that lowered second position. Also, when you play the low D flat and the G flat, like those are going to be closer to 6th position. It's just a little farther out to 6th position. So those not close to 4th, it's more out close to 6th, that 5th position, D flat and G flat. And this whole exercise is really a study in alternate positions. And of course, when you've got the slide extended out here and you're trying to play a B flat, it's harder to get that B flat to speak because you've got all this length of tubing. So there's more resistance and it's harder to lock that pitch in. So what you have to do is really make sure there's enough room. And if a note doesn't speak when you're playing and it kind of goes, a lot of times it's a combination sometimes of 2 things. My lips are not far enough apart to allow the lips to vibrate, and the second thing is I'm not using the tongue to start the note, to place the note. Da in the low register, T in the high register. So you have to spread, and I've said before, you have to spread your teeth out. Like for a D flat, you want to have your teeth spread so far apart that you can put your thumb between your teeth, like that. Because if you've got your mouth closed up and the inside of your mouth closed up like this, it's going to... So you want to have almost like a yawning sensation. And also in these exercises, especially on the second page, there's not a whole lot of places not many places to take a breath. It's okay to take a breath. So if I miss a note because I got to take a catch breath, don't worry about it. So that's to be expected because the way I wrote it, I didn't leave enough breath spots for taking a breath. So here comes number 1. the D flat scale itself in half notes. Okay. And notice that when I empty out my water key, I always put my lips to the outside of the mouthpiece so I don't accidentally make a sound. Number 2, primarily in quarter notes. 1, 2, 3. Then in eighth notes. Number 3. And then here comes number 4. I'll play this at 80 beats per minute. And you've got, notice the places where I've marked the alternate positions. Like when you get to measure 32, 33, 34, the whole measures can be played in 5th position. But again, it's difficult sometimes to get those notes to speak clearly. And if you're under pressure and the notes, you may want to try to play that the B flats in first, just to make sure that you can nail them. And also look down and measure 38. You've got 6, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6. You know, all that's way out there. But you may want to play that F in first position. Sometimes I forget and I'm just looking at the notes. And also, don't ever just get in the habit of writing in all the positions over the notes. That trains you in not reading music, and you will, it doesn't tell you the length of the note or anything like that. So don't write positions in over notes. That's a really bad habit that will hurt you. Here we go. 1, 2. Okay, and you probably heard in measure 34 my alternate positions out there in 5th position. Some of it wasn't quite in tune, so you really have to listen carefully and adjust as you play each one of these notes. Now, we're doing number 5 on the next page here, and this is the one where you might have to take a breath and play instead of playing one of these 8th notes. 1, 2, 3. Here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that's lesson 40 for the trombone and the entire right band method for trombone. I hope you enjoyed this little trip. And again, I am going to be doing that review in a week or so on that book as soon as I get it from Amazon, and I'll let you know how that goes.